Hi, friends. Welcome to Wonderful Knowledge from Buddha. In Buddhism, there is 8 stages of jnana. That means meditative absorption, which are divided into two main categories: 4 rūpa jnānas, states of form, and 4 arūpa jnānas, formless state. Some traditionals and texts also include a ninth state called cessation. The jnanas represent increasingly deep level of concentration and mental stillness, moving from sensory awareness to pure formless absorption. The 4 forms of jnanas, rupa jnanas. These are meditations on a specific object that require shutting off normal 5 senses while the mind generates joy and peace. First jnana, characterized by detachment from the senses and the initial calming of the mind. It includes the presence of sustained thought, joy, and happiness. Second jnana, discursive thinking and sustained thought ceases. The mind reaches a deep inner tranquility with unified focus and intense feelings of joy and happiness. Third jnana, the coarser feeling of intense joy fades away. It is replaced by a quite subtle happiness and a profound state of mindfulness and equanimity. Fourth jnana, all feelings of physical pleasure and pain are transcended. This level is characterized by absolute purity of mindfulness, neutrality, and utter peacefulness. These are called rupa jnanas. Next level, arupa jnanas, 4 formless jnanas. These are progressively subtler states of meditation focusing on abstract, non-material concepts. Fifth jnana, the sphere of infinite space. The sixth jnana, the sphere of infinite consciousness. Seventh jnana, the sphere of nothingness. Eighth jnana, the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. Ninth jnana, cessation. Sometimes referred to as a ninth stage, it is the cessation of perception and feeling. Nirodha samapatti, where all mental activities completely have halts. This is typically an attainment reserved for advanced practitioners or enlightened beings, arhats. The first jnana is a profound state of mental unification. It marks the transition from ordinary wandering thoughts to deep meditative absorption. To enter this state, a practitioner must temporarily overcome 5 specific mental obstacles. Let us know those mental obstacles, the 5 hindrances to be removed. Entering the first jnana requires temporarily fading of these 5 mental states. Number 1, sensory desire, longing for pleasant sights, sounds, or tastes. Ill will, anger, resentment, or hostility. And the third one, sloth and torpor, laziness, mental dullness, and sleepiness. Fourth one, restlessness and worry, anxiety, and an inquiet mind. Fifth one, doubt, lack of conviction in the practice. The 5 jhanas factors present. Now hindrance removed and 5 jnana facts present. Once the hindrance subside, 5 positive mental qualities arise. To define this first state, number 1, applied thought. Vitakka. Applied thought is in Pali language, vitakka, directing the mind towards the meditation object. And second one, sustained thought, vichara, keeping the mind anchored to the object. Third one, rapture, piti, a powerful physical rush of joy or ecstasy. Fourth one, pleasure, sukha, a deep permeating sense of mental happiness. Fifth one-pointedness, ekagata, and unification of mind as a single point. Why it feels unique? Pleasure without senses. The joy experienced does not come from looking at, listening to, or consuming anything outside yourself. Active but still. The mind is highly focused, but it still uses active thought to gently steady itself on the meditation object. The turning point, it serves as the psychological gateway, proving to the practitioner that a deep happiness can be found entirely from within. Let's go to the second jhana. The verbalizing mind goes completely silent. No inner dialogue. Both vitakka, directed thought, and vichara, sustained evolution, disappear entirely. Both of concentration, the intense joy, piti, and happiness, sukha, are no longer generated by letting go of the senses. Instead, they are born directly out of stillness, of concentration itself, samadhi, sthiti. Tranquility and oneness. The mind experiences a powerful sense of internal confidence, self assurance, and a single pointed unification. Ekodi bhava. Ekodi bhava. This is okay. Third jnana. Let us go for the third jnana. In this state, meditator realizes that even the intense joy, piti of the previous stages is actually a form of agitation. By letting it fade, the mind settles into a much deeper, more refined layer of consciousness. In this third jhana, joy fades. Physical rush, thrills, or goosebumps of rapture completely disappear. Subtle happiness, sukha, remains. A deeply restorative, calm mental happiness fills the entire body and mind. Equanimity arises. The mind enters a powerful state of emotional balance, feeling neither neither pulled toward pleasure nor pushed away by pain. Nobly praise mindfulness. The Buddha noted that enlightened being praise a person in this state because they dwell in equanimity and pure mentalness. So, fourth jhana, perfectly, the mind is completely unshakable. It has left behind not just pain, but even the subtle mental happiness, sukha, of the third jhana, resulting in an absolute neutral state. In this fourth jhana, beyond the pleasure and pain, all dualities of comfort and discomfort, joy and grief disappear entirely. Pure mindfulness, upekka sati parisuddhati. Parisuddhati. Mindfulness becomes completely pure, bright, and sharp, untethered by any emotional color or bias. Stillness of breath. In this deep state of absorption, the physical metabolism drops so low that the breath naturally becomes incredibly shallow or appears to stop entirely. The launching pad for insight, because the mind is perfectly neutral and bright. This is the traditional state from which the practitioner developed the psychic powers, idhatis, idhatis, or power to deep inside vipassanā to achieve enlightenment. The fifth jnana, the mind completely breaks through the perception of physical matter, boundaries, and the body itself. The mechanics of infinity space, transcending form. The practitioner ignores all perceptions of physical objects, color, and shapes. Rupa sanna, dissolving friction, sensory impact, and interior friction disappears entirely. The mind stops registering any sense of here versus there. Boundless expansion. The awareness focuses strictly on the concept of space itself, realizing it has no beginning, no end, and no physical properties. My dear friends, next, turning awareness in itself. This is a sixth jnana. In the sixth jnana, if infinite space is completely boundless, then the conclusion, consciousness perceiving it must also be completely boundless. Again, if infinite space is completely boundless, then the consciousness perceiving it must also be completely boundless. Turning awareness in on itself, the objective self. In the fifth jnana, you look at infinite space. In the sixth jnana, you realize that space is just a concept inside your mind. You drop the space and focus entirely on the act of knowing. Infinite mirror. The mind becomes like a mirror reflecting itself. It experiences awareness an infinite bright and all pervading field with no center and no boundaries. Deep subtlety. This state is incredibly refined because the mind has moved past the concept of nothingness or things and is resting purely in the infinite nature of consciousness itself. Next, seventh jnana, cover the 3 points, give you completely the in the seventh jnana, the transition of from sixth jnana to seventh jnana, ākiñcaññāyatana happens. Seventh jnana happens when the mind realizes that even infinite consciousness is still from of mental activity and a subtle burden. To find a deeper peace, the mind drops the focus on awareness and turns to absolute absence of anything at all. The meditator shifts the focus to the thought. There is nothing. The infinite field of consciousness vanishes, replaced by a profound empty void where not a single thing exists. There is nothingness. The danger of cosmic self misconception. The sixth jnana is so vast and all encompassing that it is a famous spiritual trend because consciousness feels infinity, radiant, independent of the body. Many non-Buddhist traditions historically mistook the state for the Atman, the eternal true soul, Brahman, the cosmic self or universal mind, union with the God. The Buddhas recognized this state, what warned that it is still conditioned, temporary, and created by the mind. Mistaking it for permanent self prevents a practitioner from seeing the truth of anatta, non-self, and blocks ultimate liberation. So there is a comparison how mental factors change fifth to sixth is fifth jnana, infinite space, sixth jnana, infinite consciousness. Primary focus in the fifth jnana, the infinite, boundaryless, wide out of form. Primary focus on the sixth jnana, the internal mind, awareness that perceives the void. Mental activity in the fifth jnana, outward expansion into conceptual space, and the sixth jnana, inward reflection on the act of knowing. Level of subtlety in fifth, refined but still focused on an object. Sixth, highly refined, focused on the subject consciousness. Remaining factors, equanimity and one-pointedness. And sixth jnana, in the sixth jnana, equanimity and one-pointedness, sharper and more interact. So in eighth jnana, neither perception nor non-perception. In this, it is reached by moving fast the seventh jnana, nothingness. The mind realizes that focusing on the nothingness still requires a subtle act of perception. To find deeper stillness, the mind lets go that last act of perceiving. The paradox, perception becomes so quiet, microscopic, and faint that you cannot say you are perceiving anything. Yet you are not totally unconscious or dead, so you cannot say there is no perception. That is the paradox. The analogy, what is it saying analogy? Imagine oil smeared on a bowl. If someone asks you to pour the oil out, you say there is no oil. But if they ask you to put rice in it, you say there is oil because it will ruin the rice. Perception here exists, but it is too faint to function normally. That is of eighth jnana. Ninth jnana, cessation, called nirodha samapatti. Nirodha samapatti. This is not formless jnana, but it completely unique state of total shutdown. It can only be accessed by fully enlightened beings, anagamis and arahants, who have mastered all eight previous jhanas and combined them with deep insight vipassanā. Total halt, mental activity, perception, feeling, and even the outermost layer of physical metabolism completely stop. The difference in the eighth jnana, a tiny spark of consciousness remains. In cessation, that spark is completely snuffed out temporarily, like a block of wood. The practitioner sits completely motionless, appearing dead, but their life force remains intact. When they emerge from this state, their mind immediately experiences the ultimate blissness of nibbana, that is nirvana. The Buddha's teachers, Alara Kalama and Buddhakarama Putta, before his enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama studied under the two greatest meditation masters of his era to find an answer to human suffering. Alara Kalama taught Siddhartha how to attain seventh jnana, nothingness. Siddhartha mastered it quickly, but realized it didn't end suffering. When he left the meditation, old age, sickness, and death still existed. Uddaka Ramaputta taught Siddhartha how to attain eighth jnana, neither perception nor perception. Again, Siddhartha mastered it completely. Siddhartha left both teachers because these states, while incredibly peaceful, were temporary. They were magnificent hiding places, but they did not permanently uproot greed, hatred, and delusion. This realization is what drew him to sit under the Bodhi tree, discover the middle path, and attain the true enlightenment. Difference between samatha calm and vipassana insight. Meditative provide a summary of entire 1 to 9 jhanas progression in a single timeline. Describe how to person safety exist jhana state back into normal life. So let us go to the point 1 to 9 jhana progression timeline. This timeline illustrates the systematic stripping away of mental activity to achieve deeper level of peace. Ordinary mind overcoming the five hindrances, sensory desire, ill will, sloth, restlessness, doubt. The form, realm, rupa, jnanas. First jnana, quiet mind arises, thought, evolution, rapture, and joy present. Second jnana, deliberate thought stops, mind stillness into pure joy and peace. Third jnana, high energy, joy fades, replaced by cool, body-wide happiness. Fourth jnana, happiness fades, pure, unshakable neutrality, breath slows down. Dropping all concepts of physical boundaries, form, and matter, the formless realm of arupa jnanas, that is from fifth jnana, awareness expands infinitely into boundless, empty space. Sixth jnana, focus shifts from space to infinite consciousness, perceiving it. Seventh jhana, releasing consciousness is a burden. Focus shifts to nothingness. Eighth jhana, perception becomes so microscopic, it is neither there nor gone. Reserved for advanced enlightened masters, combining calm with the insight, total shutdown, that is ninth jnana cessation. All perception, feeling, mental activity completely halt, the ultimate temporary experience of peace. So samatha versus calm. So how it is samatha calming abiding? This is the practice of devoting leisure like concentration, samadhi. It is primarily to one-pointed focus on a single object like the breath. The jnanas are the direct result of samatha, while they temporarily suppress the defilement, greed, anger, delusion. They function like a heavy rock placed on top of weeds. The weeds are hidden, but their roots remain alive. Vipassana insight, this is the practice of developing wisdom, panna. Instead of keeping the mind completely still on one point, the mind investigates the nature of reality. It looks closely at everything arising and passing away to see the three marks of existence: impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Vipassana is the tool that permanently pulls the weeds out of their roots. The Buddha's true breakthrough was using the crystal clear, unshakable stability developed in jnanas, samatha, as a powerful microscope to investigate reality is vipassana. Existing a jnana state back into a normal life. A meditator does not simply snap out of a deep jnana state without careful transition. The process of existing is desirable deliberately and holds immense spiritual value. Natural fade or intention. A practitioner exists either when the underlying energy of their concentration naturally exerts itself or by itself a gentle mental resolution before entering. Example, I will emerge from this state in 1 hour. The post jnana mind, upachara samadhi, upachara samadhi. When the mind level leaves a jnana, it enters a highly accessible state called access concentration. The five hindrances remains temporarily suppressed, meaning the mind is completely free from the anger, anxiety, or craving. It describes as incredibly soft, malleable, radiant, and heavy with awareness. Contemplation of the state. This post jnana window is considered the most fertile ground for the achieving enlightenment. Instead of getting up immediately, the practitioner reflects on the jnana they just left. They look at the factors like joy or peace and notice that even these exalted states were temporary, conditioned, and changing. By applying vipassana to the jnana, experiencing itself, the mind cuts through the final layers of attachment and realizes true freedom, nibbana. So, thank you up to now. This is the jnanas by the Buddhas. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me through comments. I will reply. Bye bye. Happy to do all. Like this video and share this video to all. If you are new, kindly subscribe.